Dog Street Stories on National Cybercast Entertainment Network.
During a call to a burning building, police came upon the scene, and as the police were there, firemen came up and they started putting the fire out. Police naturally entered the building along with the firemen. One police officer thought it would be interesting. When he got into the basement, there was a body floating there. They called in the coroner. The body was removed for an autopsy, and during the process of the autopsy they did find out that the individual, an elderly gentleman, had passed on from smoke inhalation. However, the police officer thought it'd be funny to change it slightly just for a slight gag, and what he did was he took a blank report and refiled it, and when he came back, informed the fire department that the elderly gentleman had died of drowning. Apparently when he got to the back door, the smoke did overcome him. However, when the process of putting the fire out, they flooded the basement, and when they kicked the basement door in, naturally it landed on top of the old guy. The fire department, the last I heard, still thinks that they kicked the door in on top of the old guy and did drown him under the door. Ever wonder what authorized personnel were? I don't know either. But under that, guys, let's remember, anybody that ever tries to be a doctor for somebody else usually has a fool for a patient. On the street stories, we had a couple of welders working on a building downtown, and as they're working, they witnessed a gentleman clutching his chest, keeling over and dropping in the street. Well, one of them thought, oh, hey, he's having a heart attack. And they go up there, sure enough, he's having a heart attack. So the other guy said to him, listen, he needs oxygen. They're welders. Acetylene, oxygen. They peeled the hose, took the oxygen hose, put it right in his mouth and cranked it up. Well, for anybody's information for the future, and don't try this one at home, regulators on oxygen tanks run slightly different than from oxygen that you put over somebody's face. And the result was they blew him up like a balloon. Well, now they know that they're really in trouble, especially when he had that blue tinge coming on. They put him in the back of the pickup truck, and they raced over to the hospital. In the process of racing over to the hospital, the police picked him up for speeding and followed him right to the hospital. They pull into the hospital ER section. They're jumping out of the pickup. Officer demanded to know what the rush was and what the emergency was. They said, we have a guy with a heart attack. He said, where? The driver, getting out, looked into the back of the bed to point to the individual. Well, that's when he noticed that they didn't put the tailgate up on the truck. They lost him en route. He looked at his other partner over there. The guy looked at him, grabbed his chest. He keeled over in the front seat. They brought him in instead. On the way back, he thought it would only be a humane thing to try and see if they could find the guy that they dropped. They did notice a rather large gathering of people in the street, and what appeared to be something that looked like it was about 30 miles of bad meat dragged behind a bus or a truck. That's when they figured that's where they lost the individual. One person decided it was just wiser to go back to work and call it a day and buy a new hose.